Today we are out in the woods and we're going to be doing a little foraging, looking for pine branches and other various things that we can use in our winter porch pots. But before we head out into the woods, it's important to have the proper gear. And I was just sent these wonderful boots from the Hisea company. And if you've watched before, you've seen that I have gotten other boots from them that I absolutely love. The nice thing about these is they're 100% waterproof and they keep my feet really warm. They have 5mm neoprene, and the nice thing with these are the upgraded rain boots. And I think what's upgraded about them is that on the side they have a little clip on them that is adjustable. So depending on how thick your calves may be, you can adjust them so that they're the proper fit for you. There's a little click button there, and then you can slide the strap in. So that's nice. So if you've got a little bit thicker leg, they're adjustable. They're also nice and tall. So as I'm going to be walking through the woods, it's nice because it's going to keep any of the weeds and brush from poking through onto my pants. This is really soft, flexible, and warm. The waterproof layer, or the plastic layer anyway, and I shouldn't even call it plastic, but it goes up really nice and high. I've even worn these boots out in the water, like Lake Michigan water, and gotten this part here wet, and my pants and feet have stayed totally dry. So the ones that were sent this time have a nice deep tread on them for great traction as we're tromping through the woods. So that will be nice. And the real nice thing about these boots is they have 100% guarantee, 100% warranty on them. So if they ever fail or break, or if anything goes wrong with them, they have 100% guarantee and they'll send you a new pair. The nice thing is if you are interested in these boots or any of the Hisea brand boots, we do have a special code you can use, Garden Crossings, and that will get you 15% off your purchase. So a lot of times they run sales, then you can stack that 15% on top of it. You can get some really inexpensive boots. These here, I believe, retail normal price is around $60. So with that 15% off, it's a real great value and excellent quality. And to be honest, I love the Hisea brand of boots. So much, in fact, that I've bought them for all my kids because we're out here and they need a nice pair of boots as well. So now we're going to go ahead and put their link below to their website, along with the discount code Garden Crossings for you to reference. So go check them out. Great company, great product, and we've really been happy with it here at Garden Crossings. So now we're gonna head out into the woods. We can see we've got various different pines. So I'm gonna go ahead and check out the different ones to see which ones are actually gonna be best suited for creating porch pots. And I like to mix the evergreens. So different textures, different feelings. All of these are pretty soft feeling, so these will be nice when it comes time to be cutting. We might have some blue spruce. Those are a little bit more pokey, but those are also a lot fuller, which I think are great for creating the winter porch pots. So we'll go see what we can find in addition to looking for the evergreens here in the pine trees. I'm looking for red twig dogwood. It would be awesome if I could find some red berries. Yeah, just various random things that might be in the woods that would be cool in the porch pots. And if I don't find them when we're out here looking through the woods, I do know that I have red twig dogwood in the garden at the garden center, so I can go ahead and cut a few of those twigs out. We have a nice berry poppins bush at the garden center too, but it's still fairly small, so I probably won't trim red berries off of that. But I did see at the house next door to the garden center, there's a huge ilex or winterberry. So I'll probably even head over there and trim out some berries off of that bush. So I'm just using my various areas to go through to see what I can take to create beautiful porch pots. Another thing is if you have hydrangea blooms that are, it would have been ideal if you could have got them trimmed about 2 months ago. The color would have been a lot nicer, but hey, you take what you can have and you use what you can have. So if you have any hydrangea blooms, those also are a great thing to put into porch pots. as well as ornamental grasses. If you have some ornamental grasses that are still pluming, trim some of those, and those make a great kind of that thriller in a pot as well. So just trying to give you some ideas of things that you can go looking for maybe around your garden, or if you have friends that have areas that you can forage through, those are some great things that you could put in your winter porch pots. So let's go ahead and take a walk through the woods and see what we can find. All right, so we're gonna head down into kind of a more swampy area, see what we can find down there. I'm not sure if there is actually anything we'll find, but we'll go ahead and take a look. And then we're gonna head over to kind of more of the pine forest area out in the woods to see what kind of finds we can find. So let's go on an adventure. So we're gonna head into this little nook of the woods and see what we can find. I know that there are some fir trees out here. I don't know if they're Fraser firs, but there's a really short needle kind. There's white pine and then some various other pines. So let's just go in and take a look and see what we can find. Go ahead and snip these. So what I took today, this is what we had up at the Northern Michigan Garden, was our Fisker's pruner. So we'll go ahead and just use this. So when I'm nipping the branches back, I'm going to go back about 24, maybe 30 inches or so. That way it gives me a nice length to have them sticking up, but I also want to make sure I have enough that I can push it down into the soil, because that's kind of what you're using to anchor the branches into the porch pots. So yeah, this is kind of like the perfect length. So this one here, we'll go closer and take a look at it to see the needles. They're very short. They're not that sharp, which is nice. Like I said, I'm not a super full evergreen, but I'm gonna like the texture that this is gonna give in the porch pot. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut a couple more of them. May have just hit me in the head. And too, as I'm laying them out, it kind of gives me an idea of like how full it's going to make the porch pots as well. Just a couple more. I 10-10 recommend gloves. I just didn't have any with me up at the Northern Michigan Garden, so I don't have any. Okay, so that's a good start. So we're going to continue through and look for other evergreens that are various different textures, because I always think it's important to have about 2 or 3 different textures in the porch pots. Because I don't know, I just like how it looks that way. So this is a small tree, but I'm just going to show it to you here. This is, I believe this is a white pine. This is not my favorite to use in porch pots. It's very narrow, not dense. It's super soft, so I mean that's nice, but it just doesn't do a lot. I am going to cut some, but again, I'm not going to cut a lot because it's not my favorite look for porch pots. So I'm always cautious as I go to grab the plants, make for sure that it's not too bulky. But this one too is nice and soft. It's not a very great looking tree, so I'm not going to feel too bad about trimming these branches off. So we'll go ahead and cut some from here as well. Again, I'm going to go for the nice long stems. You can always trim them shorter. We've got 3 evergreen spruce, I don't know if it's spruce, pines, firs. We do have some spruce that we'll be getting in, and I will, as we drive around, I'll try to see if we can find some spruce, because the blue spruce especially looks pretty because it's got more of a bluer tinge to it. So we'll see if we can find some spruce out here, although I'm not sure. But I think we're set probably pretty good for the evergreens. So now we'll just try to find those little accent things like the red twigs or the ripe berries, the holly berries. And if not, we'll grab some from, like I said, the greenhouse, because there's lots to use there. So, all right, let's head back to the side-by-side and collect our greens as we're going along the way. I don't know, with this collection, this should definitely fill out a pretty good sized porch pot and even make 2 of them for me. So I think we're good with our greens. Now we're gonna go see what else we can find. So none of us have actually walked down into the swamp before, so I'm not sure how wet it is, but I do have my nice Hisea boots on, which are waterproof. So we'll see. This is a little bit scary for me because this is not something I typically would ever do. Creatures are scary. So it's getting a little mushy. Not terrible yet though. Okay, as I'm going closer, I do see standing water, so not sure. Okay, to the water's edge. So I'm gonna try to just use my little snipper and reach in and pull the cattail toward me, because I don't want to sink up to my knees, although it'd be funny for your enjoyment, I'm sure. Okay. All right. So yeah, that'll be cool. Some cattails. I'll just kind of try to set a little pile. I don't know how many I'll actually be able to reach, so we'll see. That one's starting to crack open, so I don't know how good that'll be. If only I was braver, but I'm not. Okay, let's see. We'll try to get this one here yet. Okay, so I am going to try and maybe see if I can walk down that way a little bit, because those aren't cracked open. See if it's as wet going that way. So this is mushy, but it's not like standing water wet. So this will be a little easier. And these are nicer too, because see how they're not cracked open? So I think they'll last longer in the porch pot as well. This is what you call true foraging right here. Okay, one more. And that will give me 5 plus those other 3, which I may not use because these are nicer. So that will add kind of a cool natural look into the porch pot. So glad we kind of came down here, and certainly glad I have the right boots on for doing this. All right, so we just came out of the swamp. We're moving up here to higher ground. Although off in the distance, I'm seeing red. I'm going for a walk. I'm hoping it's not autumn olive. We'll see. Off in the distance, I'm seeing bright splashes of red, and it's swampy down there. So I am hoping it's holly berry and not autumn olive. But it's looking extra red, so that is making me feel extra excited. because I think we're gonna find what I'm hoping to find. It's the little things that make me excited, I guess. So Marissa's out with me today recording, and she says, Mom, we're in bear country. And she's not wrong. We had a bear on our camera a couple weeks ago. Oh, wow. All right, so it's a little bit wet and mushy here, which is kind of that primo area to finding the holly berries. It looks like there might be 2 bushes of them in here. Now, how to get to them because it's so thick. Well, I don't want to just go cutting things that I don't know what they are, because if they are more holly, obviously I want that. But this could also be autumn olive I'm walking through, which if it is, what? Oh gosh, Marissa just scared me. You don't say, oh, when you're in the middle of the woods. But she said it was just a rabbit. Okay, so I'm digging my way in here. And this is exactly what I was hoping to find. This is awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut. So this is winterberry, holly. And I'm hoping I don't knock all the berries off as I'm walking back through. Just gonna nip there. Again, this is where if you had three hands, that would be helpful. Nip there. Okay. So, make my way out. Again, hoping I'm not knocking all the berries off the plant. Ah, this is not promising. Okay. Jackpot! Wild winterberry. This is so exciting for me. All right, let's keep looking. So now that we're out of that little thick mess, remember how I kind of went, ooh, because Marissa went, ooh? Now she tells me she thinks it was a bobcat running around. I don't know if I trust her, but she's giving me big eyes, so she's feeling confident. I'm just gonna go with it was a bunny. So, but these are beautiful berries. These are gonna look great in the porch pots. So I'm back at the garden center right now because we weren't able to find any red twig dogwood out in the wild. So we do have a couple of the Cornus Arctic Fire red twig dogwoods here at the garden center. So I'm gonna snip some branches off of this. We also have some Cornus Arctic Fire yellow, which has yellow branches. I might just pull a couple. We'll see what they look like in the porch pots. I'm probably gonna use the red, but we'll grab some yellow as long as we're out here. So when I'm cutting these branches, I'm gonna cut them just nice and long. I'm not gonna trim the whole bush. I'm just gonna selectively trim out maybe 3 or 5 branches. So I'm gonna look for nice, long, straight ones. One thing to point out is if you have an Arctic Fire dogwood in your yard, it is actually good to go through and trim it every 2 or 3 years or so, trimming it back to about maybe 2 foot or so. And the reason why is over time, these nice red twigs that we currently have, they're gonna turn brown. So by trimming the plant back every 2 to 3 years, it's gonna promote fresh growth, and your fresh growth is what's gonna have this red color on it. So there still are leaves on this dogwood, so I'm just going to take my hand and kind of just pull the leaves off. These leaves will eventually fall off. It's just that they haven't all fallen off yet this fall. So I'm going to get rid of them because I don't want that leafy look. All right, so now that I have the leaves off, you can see the beautiful shade of red on this dogwood. I don't know if you can see it up against my shirt, just what a very vibrant red this is. Now I'm going to go ahead, like I said, grab a couple yellow as well. So we'll just tuck those under. Now the yellow doesn't have near as nice of a habit as the red. It's kind of a more sprawling type habit. I don't honestly love the habit of this plant. So we'll see how long it stays here, but for now we'll utilize it for some of the branches. Yeah, they lay on the ground. They're so flat. All right, so we'll go ahead and strip the leaves off of these. Well, this one doesn't have leaves, so that was easy. Also, too, I'm not loving all the branching, so I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of all these little branches. Right now I'm using my Pink Lady trimmer. Nice and sharp, does a good job. Or pruner, I guess it's technically called. So here we have the Arctic Fire yellow dogwood. Kind of has kind of a yellow-green color to it. So we'll see. I mean, it might look nice, kind of giving that yellow and red look in the porch pots. But at least we have them if we want them. We did get some of the Ilex winterberry at the Northern Michigan garden out there on the land, but I'm going to grab a few more because I know we have a beautiful shrub over here. So let's go cut a few out. This is, I don't even know what this shrub is called. It's a generic on the property, so I don't have the actual name of it, but it's got really good berry display. So we're going to cut a couple branches off of that as well. So let's head on over to the winterberry. So what I was thinking was a winterberry holly, just from memory, seeing it back here, actually is not. This is a blue holly. So this is an evergreen holly. It's not going to lose its leaves, but it does have beautiful red berries on it. So this will be kind of cool to mix in with the winterberry holly, and because we're going to add that evergreen texture in the form of holly leaves, but with the berries all together basically. So I'm going to go ahead and just nip a couple branches out of here. So with hollies, to get the berries, you do need a male and a female plant. So I can see this is the female, it has the berries, and next to it is a male that has no berries. So that's how you get berries on your hollies, is you do need a male and a female. Now it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. You can have one male to, let's say, many females, but you do need to make sure you're buying at least one male if you are planting hollies. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to look for some nice long branches. So that one's got some nice berries going on. And here I kind of cut a big chunk. So what I'll do, well, you know, I might just throw this whole thing in as one big chunk. So I think with this and this one I trimmed earlier, that should give me enough berries for the planter that I'm going to put together. If I need more, I can always come out and get more, but I'd rather wait and keep them fresh if we do need more later. So we're going to go in and we are going to create some porch pots. That will be actually in a separate video. If you have any questions or comments on any of the things that we've gone foraging for, either out in the woods or here around the property at Garden Crossings, please feel free to leave your comments below. And then, like I said, stay tuned because there'll be another video coming up that will show the actual creation of the winter porch pot. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.